Sheriff just gave this big group of people their balls back with special permission he gave them all. Universities in the United States have long been a breeding ground for liberal thought. Propped up by the guise of forward thinking, this liberal activists who are indoctrinating the next generation of social justice warriors and teaching them to be the kind of individuals that need all sorts of special treatment. That kind of progressive and anti-constitutional viewpoint has made college campuses an easy target for both radical schools of thought to propagate and radical aggression to manifest itself in some pretty bad ways. We've seen multiple violent attacks on college campuses over the past few years, and since they're primarily populated with self-discovery majors who espouse pacifism and don't believe in defending themselves, they were literally sitting ducks. This has struck fear in the students and faculty, and rightly so. Because of this frustrating problem that's plaguing the nation's centers for higher education, one sheriff in Florida has decided to do something about it. This Polk County sheriff has actually deputized the faculty at Southeastern University. They're now given the ability to concealed carry for the purpose of self-defense. Score on for the Second Amendment. Via Breitbart News. The Polk County Sheriff's Office is training faculty of Lakeland, Florida's Southeastern University to carry concealed weapons for self-defense and is deputizing them to get around the state's ban on campus carry. The state's ban allows law enforcement, including sheriff's deputies, to carry on campus. Narrative's Jenny Simone reports that the program is the first of its kind, and one that comes in the wake of the heinous attack on Republican lawmakers in Alexandria, Virginia. Polk County Sheriff Grady said he will swear in the staff as special deputies, giving them the authorities to possess firearms when every second counts. Judd added, "I'm not going to sit on my hands here in this office while people die if I can prevent it with special deputy sheriffs, instructors and staff that are highly trained and ready to save lives." Southeastern University Exec. VP Chris Owen said, "The number one question asked by parents, when visiting our university, was about safety. Every year, every time, they asked, 'What are you doing to keep our students safe when they come?' You take those questions, mix the newsreels that keep coming in of the senseless violence, and this was a no-brainer for us." Southeastern University President Kent Ingle said there are people who want to completely remove guns from campus, but he stressed that such a move creates a situation where the only response to an armed attacker is to attempt to reason with him or her. Ingle said reasoning with such people is not viable. Rather, if they have a gun, the only way you're going to stop them is if you have a gun. Sheriff Grady calls the special deputizing program the Sentinel program because the armed professors and staff are the watchmen. They are on point, called to service, and willing to lay their life down to protect the students. "If I had a hat, I'd take it off to the sky." The current laws that prohibit those who live and work on the campus from carrying firearms are technically legal because it's up to the state and the school to decide what is best for them. However, it's just not a smart move to ensure that the only people who will be carrying firearms are the ones who are willing to break the law. The idea behind laws of this kind is that the fewer guns around, the less likely people are to use them in harmful ways. And that might make sense to someone with the brain of a toddler, but we just don't see situations where the people who carry out mass murders just flew into a rage and grabbed their roommates' guns and started spraying a room. These things are almost always well thought out and planned. Since these are institutions of higher learning, perhaps we should consider the state of mind of a person who has decided to pack firearms and go pay a visit to their alma mater. This is pretty much a desperate situation where reason isn't factored in. The best we can hope for is that the self-preservation might kick in and make them not want to die on the spot. By the time someone is willing to cause devastating loss of life, they're probably not going to get really bogged down in the details of what areas are gun-free zones. They're more concerned with which areas are more likely to allow him to cause the most damage. If the prospect of life in prison for murder isn't incentive enough to rethink his life plan, it's doubtful that some signs that say no guns will do the trick. What will slow down an active shooter is knowing that behind any door might be faculty member sporting a cardigan and a .45 ready to fill his chest cavity with hollow points.